You're on the road beyond. Welcome. I'm Todd Duplantis, and we are coming to you from the HCC TV studios here in Houston, Texas. Doug O'Brien, my co-host, joins me this morning.
Yes, you can catch up with me as always on Houston's Eagle and here on the Road Beyond podcast. You can always follow us, like, share the videos. We're on YouTube as well, where you can subscribe. And you also put some stuff out on
lot
Twitter.
of stuff on X, out there.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry.
At Duplantis65.
I called it Twitter.
Yeah, formerly known as Twitter.
I don't know if I can ever get used to just saying X. Like, what is it when you send something out? Are you Xing out?
You're Xing out, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
It's just, they call it posting now. Yeah, it's weird, but it's still out there, so look for us on all those platforms. You know, we've got a lot to cover this week, a lot going on. We'll be talking about through the show, so let's just dive on into it. How quickly we forget. Remember those New Jersey drones? Yeah, I remember them. Seems like a long time ago, but it was really just last year that the nation and the world were intrigued by mysterious flying craft reported all over the New Jersey area.
It is weird how time flies.
Oh, yeah.
We just kind of move on. But residents along the East Coast have been reporting unexplained aerial objects. Now that's what they're calling them. It's often described as balls of light that turn into drones. There's a picture of one right there. These sightings have cropped up across New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, but even above a NASA space facility in California and a Virginia military base.
Now, one New Jersey mayor went so far as to say he was equipping his firefighters with hazmat suits, saying that if they're called out, they're immediately going to call the bomb squad. Fire department has been instructed to make sure they also wear their hazmat suits. They were taking it serious.
Yeah, now, despite the chaos, the federal agencies, including the FBI, Pentagon, and DHS, insist that there was no immediate threat or evidence of foreign involvement.
Now, political leaders even took notice. Then candidate Donald Trump suggested these drones should be shot down. That's right, shot down, accusing the Biden administration of silent inaction. Meanwhile, New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy demanded clearer answers from Washington.
Well, Representative Jeff Van Drew even floated a theory that an Iranian mothership, do you remember this story?
We talked about this.
An Iranian mothership was just off the coast and it might be deploying drones, but the Pentagon is disputing that there is no evidence that this ever happened.
Now, on the ground, skepticism ran high. Senator Andy Kim, coordinating with local police, said some sightings may be misidentified aircraft, but he also called for public transparency. There's something.
So, yeah, as attention grew, it went to something that you've mentioned several times. Project Bluebeam seems to be the focus. And so we thought we would dig into it today. And I know you know a lot about this.
Yeah, Project Bluebeam was originally coined by Serge, remember that movie?
Yes.
Serge Monast in 1994. Now, it claims authorities will simulate a global religious event, alien invasion, holograms of gods to usher in a new world order or grow those crazy beards like that guy had.
You got to follow this because this gets a little nutty. Monast proposed a multi-phase plan. So here's the idea. You trigger geocatastrophes to discredit religions. You project holograms of gods, enforce mind control, and finally stage an alien invasion, all to justify global authoritarian rule.
Now, speaking of projecting images of God, this has been popping up on X a lot in the past month. Some say it was from the Alabama areas. Others claim it was Greece. But take a look at these pictures here. See if you see something here in the skies. Some saying this is Christ appearing in a cloud.
Yeah. Now, is it or is it just pareidolia?
That's exactly. We've done a show.
If you don't know what that is, that's where you make out shapes. Your brain wants to make sense of something you see.
A couple of these have been posted across X. Now, despite these predictions never materializing in the 1990s or the new millennium, there's another one, the theory has endured waiting in the wings whenever unexplained events spark fear.
This is just crazy. It wasn't until mid-January that the Trump White House issued its first official take. Now, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, relaying from President Trump, stated the FAA had authorized many of the drones, some for research and various other reasons, and that others were flown by hobbyists.
Now, back in December, the former administration's top officials, including DHS Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas, the FBI, FAA, and the Department of Defense released a joint statement confirming no national security threat and no foreign involvement.
But they did acknowledge thousands of reports, but said most involved lawful commercial hobbyists, law enforcement drones, misidentified manned aircraft, helicopters, and my favorite, even stars.
Yeah.
They're not moving, but it's a
swamp gas. And amid it all, the conspiracy crowd re-energized the Project Bluebeam theory, declaring these staged drone swarms could be the opening act for a stage mass hallucination or global deception. Look at that.
Now, real quick, have you seen any of the video of the world record drones they've had in China?
Oh, yeah.
Like 1,100 drones. And what they can do is absolutely fascinating. So it raises the question, what's next? And so here's why we are still in limbo. The federal report last revealed some sightings were optical illusions, right? A Cessna, Black Hawk, or a Beechcraft. I don't know how they get that. A plane does not look like these drones, but whatever. But couldn't explain all, including a swarm seen by the U.S. Coast Guard near the Atlantic. Now, that one carries some weight because you're talking about, these aren't guys that typically make stuff up.
Yeah, the Coast Guard reported it.
Hearings confirmed hundreds of drone incursions at military bases, yet no suspects or drone wreckage has ever been found.
That's the weird part about it all. Now,
it's like the Bigfoot of the sky.
I know,
You know,
but there's not
no
one
evidence.
crack. They were all over the place. People were filming these things, recording them. So here are some other takeaways. Trump's team asserts the FAA authorized some drones and that hobbyists, that's right, hobbyists are responsible for many more, but key details remain vague. Earlier federal assessments concluded most sightings were benign. Okay. But key details, as I mentioned, remain unknown, and authorities continue investigating anomalies. Conspiracies like Project Bluebeam keep this fear in motion.
I swear, it seems like the more they tell us, the less I believe them.
Well, I mean, especially when these things were, when this was happening last year and was active, why didn't the government just come out and say, yeah, those are our drones up there? There's been some theories on what those drones were actually doing.
What have you heard?
One theory is that they were looking for some radioactive stuff on the ground.
Okay.
There was possible terrorist activity in the area, and that they were looking for that.
Okay.
That's what I've heard.
The one I've heard that I think is, I'll say plausible, but within quotation marks, is that there is a larger, because I've heard this from several different places, that there is a larger, I don't want to call it an invasion, but a greeting coming from these hybrid beings.
Oh, yeah.
And so we are getting these drones and other sightings. I don't know if you've seen the ring.
They're conditioning us.
Correct. That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
So we are being conditioned so that when it finally does happen, we just go,
they've been here all along.
The drone.
Yeah.
To me, that makes more sense. Because like you said, if it was the government, why wouldn't they just say?
Why didn't they just say it? They could have nixed this last year, but there was some major panic in New Jersey.
Even if it was, if they couldn't give us all the details, right? They could have at least said we're doing training exercise.
Yeah,
that's always the usual answer. Well, it's a training exercise.
They could have
something,
but nothing happened.
No, anytime we get no information, we tend to go to conspiracy.
Right.
In this case, we're getting stupid information, which also makes us go to conspiracy. Because now it's like, what are you hiding? What are you covering up?
Well, I'm sure we haven't heard the last of the drones.
No.
Recently, we've lost some big people in the show business area. We talked about this.
Yeah.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Yep.
Chuck Mangione.
Yep.
And we've got a story on Hulk Hogan, which is pretty eerie when I saw this.
This one's a little creepy, but cool at the same time.
Very cool. It's coming up right after this.
I'm learning healthcare management while providing patient care.
I came back to grow my skills, even after I graduated.
And if I can't make it in person, I take my classes online.
Dear Santa, my mom says I'm a good helper, but you didn't come last year. I just really hope this year when I wake up, I'm gonna see that you came to my house too.
Donate today.
I think it's just
vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast. I'm Doug O'Brien from Houston's Eagle, along with Todd Duplantis. And this next segment is a little crazy, but remember, if you're loving all of this, you can find us everywhere. We're on all the social media sites, and you can also subscribe on YouTube. Just simply look, it's right there next to me, the Road Beyond podcast.
Now, wrestling fans around the world are mourning the death and the legacy of WWE Hall of Famer Hulk Hogan, who passed away recently at the age of 71.
He was born Terry Gene Bollea, which is not the name that most of us know him by. Vince McMahon of the WWF at that time wanted Terry to be Irish. So he gave him an Irish name of Hogan, but he refused to do the red hair. I'm picturing this giant Hulk of like a giant leprechaun. But
good move on his part.
Yeah, absolutely. But he was more than just a wrestling icon. He was a pop culture juggernaut. We know him for many things, from headlining WrestleMania, still holds the record for largest viewed or attended WrestleMania event, to starring in films like Suburban Commando, and of course, who could forget him in Rocky III? That's a famous one. And of course, he had his reality show, Hogan Knows Best, with his charisma and his signature, "What you gonna do?" You have to do it in that voice. Anyway, that catchphrase made him a household name throughout the 80s and 90s.
Now, Hogan's career wasn't without controversy, but in later years, he reemerged as a fan favorite. In an emotional 2015 interview, he claimed to have received a voicemail from fellow wrestler Roddy Piper after Piper had just died days before, saying, quote, "Just walking with Jesus and loving you, my brother."
So we found a video of this interview from the documentary made about Piper's life. Here's a chilling clip posted on the Mark and Maggie YouTube. You can take a listen, and then we'll talk about it.
My Roddy Piper passed away. Roddy Piper. And he was really trying hard to, surrender and try to get his life straight. So, we would text every single day. Now, in the wrestling business, for 25 years, we couldn't stand each other. We were at each other's throats. I know it's predetermined, all that, but he did not like me, and I did not like him. And that's just how it was. Well, once we got older and, we basically had some conversations. And so we started talking a lot, and he started asking me about my spirituality. He really didn't connect, but he was very curious, He wouldn't surrender. And all of a sudden, he passes away. And it was an A&E special about Roddy Piper. And the very thing, when they get ready to go to credits, it wasn't a text message, but it was a text message that was a voice message on the text. So he must have. But this text message came in 2 days after he died. And the text message goes, "I'm just loving you, my brother. I'm just walking with Jesus."
I'm walking with Jesus today, my brother. Walking with Jesus, loving you and praying for you.
Walking with Jesus and loving you, my brother. I was like, he would have never said that when he was here.
And Terry, he wanted you to hear it, right?
Boy, that's just chilling.
That is.
Yeah, I had never really heard that story.
I had heard the story happened. I've never seen the interview.
And then he plays the
that was powerful. But can you imagine if we all could get messages like that?
Well, it happens from time to time. I know one of our producers here worked with a longtime host of one of our shows called Dialogue Houston, Larry Payne. He was an activist in Houston, very well known in the Houston area. He passed away in the last couple of years. And she had told me she was driving to work one morning and she saw a voicemail pop up on her phone.
Really?
And it was a message from Larry. And obviously recorded before he had passed, but it just wound up coming to her then.
Wow.
And, it really shook her. But kind of like, I guess, in the situation here with Hulk Hogan, getting that message just kind of, shook him, but also meant something to him as well.
Well, yeah, and especially when he thought that they weren't that close in real life to get that message after. And let me also say just real quick about Roddy Piper. If you've not seen the movie, They Live,
oh,
you need to see it.
Yeah.
It's a little over the top, but yet the message is still applicable today. A great movie.
On point. So check it out. That's your assignment for the week. Is make sure you watch that movie.
It's a sci-fi cult classic.
Oh, it's great.
Without a doubt.
It's great. From the roars of the wrestling ring to the silence of the Nevada desert, our next story centers on a man named Charles James Hall, a former U.S. Air Force weather observer who claims he spent 2 years in close contact with, you got it, extraterrestrials. Fact or fiction? What do you think about that? That's what this next story is all about.
Okay, this one is going to be interesting. These are not your ordinary aliens, not just any extraterrestrials. When you think of the aliens, you think of the little grays, right?
Yeah, not these.
About this tall and everything. No, we're talking about a race that he calls the tall whites. It makes me think of the White Walkers.
Yeah, the white. Yeah, right? Yeah. Then we'll take a look at this picture here.
It doesn't look like them.
Let's go back to the early 1960s. Hall was stationed at Nellis Air Force Base in Nevada, in a remote area called the Indian Springs Gunnery Range. Officially, he was there to record weather patterns, but unofficially, something else entirely may have been happening.
This is crazy. According to Hall's testimony, published in a self-described, now this is the only part that gets a little tricky, self-described fictionalized autobiography.
What the heck is that?
This is about my life, but I may have made some of it up. But anyway, the series is called Millennial Hospitality, and he was used as kind of an intermediary between the U.S. military and a race of tall, pale-skinned beings standing 6 to 7 feet tall with platinum blonde hair and large blue eyes. Kind of sounds like Hulk Hogan.
Yeah, there you go. It does.
Just saying.
He says these beings lived in hidden outposts in the desert, underground habitats with tall, glowing entryways, of course. According to Hall, the U.S. military knew about their presence and even collaborated with them, trading safe passage and materials in exchange for technology.
And get this, it gets better. Their suits could make them move faster than the eye could track. I wonder what part of this is fictionalized.
Yeah,
I'm just curious.
Okay, yeah.
Hall said they could live up to 800 years and they could age visibly during their stages of their life cycle.
That makes no sense. Now skeptics, of course, dismiss Hall's claims, you think, as fantasy or hallucination. Maybe he was on peyote. We don't know.
It's a
but
possibility.
Hall was never once diagnosed with a mental illness. Doesn't mean anything. He held a government security clearance. Still doesn't mean anything. He's earned degrees in nuclear physics and engineering and has stuck to the same story for over 20 years.
Remember, never change your story. That's always important. He's even spoken at UFO conferences in Europe, Canada, and here in the U.S. And here's the kicker. Charles Hall didn't come forward until the late 90s, long after leaving the military. Why? Well, he claims that he feared for his life if he spoke out earlier, but apparently he didn't fear for his life later.
No, he was writing an autobiography that was fictional.
Right.
And Doug, Hall had some haunting words to say in 2004 interview. He said, "The truth is not only out there, it's been here for a long, long time."
That might be the only part that I actually believe from his autobiography. But if you've ever driven across the Nevada deserts, or maybe Marfa, when you're seeing the Marfa lights, right? You see a strange flash in the distance, or heard a hum. That's an important one. A hum in the air that you couldn't explain. You might not have been alone.
The tall whites may not show up on radar, but according to Charles Hall, they've been walking among us quietly, carefully, and always watching.
Why has it got to end creepy? Like he was fun throughout everything, and then he got creepy at the end.
Speaking of creepier, yesterday I was out, we were in Bastrop, Texas.
Okay.
Right? Bastrop is also home to the gas station.
The gas station?
The gas station. That's
Okay.
what it's known as.
All right.
Because it was in a little certain movie shot around there called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Oh.
Yeah, it was the gas station from the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Now, interesting thing, it's called just the gas station now because legally they can't even say the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Really?
All the product they sell there, I got some t-shirts. They can't, it's called the gas station. Look it up. It's all on Facebook and online. And they refer to it as TCM.
Did you notice a hum or anything? Any odd events?
I don't know, but I had the chili.
Really?
The chili. It was good.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really good.
All
Yeah.
right.
So if you're a fan of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, check out the gas station.
Just don't ask what the meat is.
No, but it was darn tasty. We got bare necessities coming up. In fact, we'll take a look at it right after this.
When you're given a childhood cancer diagnosis, hope is lacking. But coming to St. Jude, they were my foundation for getting my hope back. So we have to continue funding St. Jude because if it weren't for the donors, my daughter may not have made it to her second birthday. Now she can show everybody else what true strength is.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.
Welcome back to the Road Beyond podcast.
It is time for one of our favorite segments, Bear Necessities, featuring a fun-loving bear.
Yeah, we've been straying away from the bears because there's so much content out there. But you found this video.
Yes.
And we lovingly call it Bear on Trampoline. It's kind of self-explanatory. Let's take a look.
Bears have to have fun, too.
Yeah. I mean, this bear is getting down on the trampoline. You got to love it. It's shot with the night vision. And,
See, now, at first, I thought it might be AI, but then the light comes on.
Yeah, no, it's a bear.
And he's just having a... So we've seen bears enjoying the pool.
Yeah.
Right? And frolicking, I believe, on a slide, and now on a trampoline.
Yeah. And now we're going to take a look at a video of an orangutan I think he's burglarizing a home.
Yes, he is.
But this one, we didn't have the audio in this one, but believe me, the guy's not too happy that an orangutan has walked into his house. Take a look at this. There's the orangutan. He just kind of go like, what? What's the problem? What's up? Any problem here? And the guy's going, why are you here?
What I love is the orangutan acts like he's the one who lives there.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, he just
why are you in my house? Where did you put the stuff? And immediately goes and washes his hands.
Yeah, he washes his hands. He's probably like, yeah, where's the bathroom? Do you have a magazine?
He's asking if dinner's ready yet. Just like... Or he's going to do some cleaning. I don't know.
I mean, so there you go. Orangutan breaks in house, but at least he's being clean about it and washes his hands.
See?
Yeah.
Oh, he's got to use the bathroom.
I think he's getting ready to go to the bathroom.
Look, we have all been in that situation. You're going about your day, and then all of a sudden, nature literally calls.
But I'm shocked that the orangutan actually washes his hands.
Yeah.
Before he goes to the bathroom.
Well, that's true. There are humans that don't even do that.
Humans that don't even do it.
But it's not an uncommon thing for primates to wash their hands. Apes, chimpanzees, they all do it too. So yeah.
Wasn't aware of it.
Yeah.
I learn something new every day. Yeah. What happens when you go to work and you leave your dog alone? Well, apparently they're good at moving security cameras. This dog decided he was going to get a bite to eat. Take a look at this video here. And yeah,
it's food, by the way, he's not supposed to have.
He's not supposed to have this food on the table. So he's like, let me see if I can figure this out. All right, let's just move the camera.
Trust me, the ending is the best part on this. That is not a tease. It is a tease.
Wait,
it's a real.
The cat's joining in on this too?
Oh no, just wait. The cat
is going to move the camera back.
The cat niches him out.
So the cat's going to move the camera.
Look at this.
Back to the dog. And there's the dog eating at the table.
The cat busted the dog.
Yeah.
It just makes me...
That happens at my house just about every day.
What has happened between that dog and cat for the cat to go, all right, you think you're going to get away with this?
I'm going to roll a video at my house sometime because we've got a cat. And one of the dogs My dog, he wasn't raised with a cat, just moved in with his cat last year.
Right.
I don't know what it is with the cat, but he would always chase it when he first met it.
Okay.
Now it's like the cat will walk by him and he's wanting to chase the cat. The cat will just look at him. He's like, no, I'm not doing anything. I don't have any part of that. I don't know what the control this cat has over dogs. But she literally roams around the house, and the dogs we have 4 dogs. They all, when she walks by, they're just like, nothing to see here.
The cat's probably smacked him a couple of times.
I think
those
so. The
claws
cat,
come out.
She's got claws.
Yeah, those claws come out, and that's all it takes.
But she'll just walk by, and the dogs be like, nothing to see here. Move along.
Well, I mentioned about the primates washing their hands. There's a video. I'll see if I can find it so we can share it. But a photographer, I believe, is seeing a chimp in the wild, and I think they had interacted before.
Right.
But the chimp brought the man over to a stream and washed his hands.
Yeah.
And then washed his own, and then had the man cup water for him to drink. So that's what I'm saying. It is not totally
Have you
unusual.
seen the video of the rat taking a bath?
I don't think I've seen
made its rounds
that.
in the last few years. There's a rat literally taking a shower and just like taking
a rat. Okay.
A rat. I mean, it's amazing. Who knew rats were such clean animals? But
that one's a little crazy, but we don't have.
It was before AI, so it's got to be real.
It's got to be real. But how do you just like? I don't know. That just makes. I think I would trip out if I saw that.
We're gonna find that for the next show. Bathing rat next week on.
Rats are just gross. I don't care even if it's bathed. Rats are just gross.
Well, they're just animals.
Well,
they're misunderstood. Well, we're wrapping up this week's show. We hope you have a great week. We'll be back next week with more crazy conspiracy theories, which have now been turned into truth.
Right. And we'll have more animals doing weird things because that's who we are.
That's how we roll around here. I'm Todd Duplantis.
I'm Doug O'Brien. Have a great week.
We'll see you next time.
If you're buzzed and doing this to make yourself feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive.
It's hard to imagine that this powerful, beautiful animal needs our help. But they are being killed for their skin and bones, and their homes are being destroyed. Tigers are at the heart of so many delicate ecosystems. When you protect a tiger, you also protect thousands of species and people that rely on the same habitat. Learn how you can make a difference.
Why is just a starting line, for the true self blooms only when we find our purpose, what makes us tick, below the surface. Our reason why is united, undivided, seeking understanding. My why is diversity and unity, a safe space in my community. It's a million faces in a mirror, and everyone belongs. Find your why for a better us.